What is going on, YouTube people? The Cards and Comics here. Well, if you had USPS employee on the bingo card of next person to do something shady in the hobby, go ahead and stamp that square off. I think we had, what was it, FedEx a couple of months ago was stealing stuff, and now we have a postal worker. Listen, I'm sure this happens way more frequently than any of us want to know. But in this case, we actually have, this is from the U.S. Attorney General's office. Not exactly the type of people you want to be getting notices from. Have someone in custody, and they have pled guilty to stealing over $100,000, $108,692.49 in sports cards and memorabilia from Clifton, New Jersey. Now, what I don't know, and I would be curious if someone has heard or knows, essentially, this guy got hired to sort mail, and there is a sports card consigner in the Clifton, New Jersey area. I don't know who that is off the top of my head. Maybe it's someone super obvious and I'm blanking on it. But from September to December, so in 3 months, September to December, stole over 100K worth of stuff that was all going to this consigner. And that sucks. It does sound like people are going to get paid back out for it because that's part of his restitution. But yikes. Scary, scary stuff. And I just kind of wanted to take an opportunity here to essentially piggyback off of this as to really have to take precautions when you're shipping stuff as best as you possibly can. I wish more companies used, I'm going to use the term fake addresses here, but like nondescript addresses. If you've ever shipped a PSA or you've shipped to eBay authenticity guarantee, like things like that, the address is not obvious what it is. It's just like a random suite number. There's no company name attached to it. In some cases, it's an individual person that it's going to. And maybe, listen, if you're in the weeds of the postal company, you probably know where it's going, but you might not. If you're just glancing super quick as you're sorting mail, you might not realize exactly what it is because it doesn't say Sell My Sports Cards LLC or Sell My High Valuable Collectibles LLC.com or whatever on the actual label. So I really do appreciate when companies kind of have those dummy names set up. I would like to see more places do that, honestly. I'll name one for you right now because I just shipped them something. The Tops does not have, it's just their address on there. It says exactly where you're sending it to. And same with the return address. I wish that was like a dummy name on there, so it maybe threw people off a little bit or just made it less obvious. The other thing that I will say is I personally do not buy extra insurance when I ship. But, and once again, not sponsored by them. Have never had to use them for a claim, but everything I have used has been extremely smooth. CIS policies, and ask these questions if you sign up for one or you have one, but CIS collect insure policies will cover shipping in some cases. So I rely on my CIS policy to cover me if something goes wrong in shipping, not buying extra insurance through the postal company. Once again, do your due diligence on that. Once again, I've never had to personally file a claim. Maybe they're a nightmare to deal with. Maybe they're fantastic. Up until this point, they have been very easy to deal with. And this is my other, I just talked about this in another video very recently. If you have a decent amount of stuff, a CIS policy is not a bad idea, or some sort of additional insurance. I was actually just watching a video. It wasn't even anyone that I follow. It was just like the YouTube algorithm threw it on my homepage. And I'm like, that looks interesting. And sadly, it was about a guy. He lives in Chicago, but his parents live in California. and he was a Lego investor. Like, he bought Legos and held them sealed because if you're not in the weeds on this or not, sealed Legos do very well over time. Maybe not necessarily as aggressive as sports cards, a little bit slower pace, and like Pokemon sealed and stuff like that. But some of that stuff has pretty decent upside after a certain period of time. And he said he had almost $50,000 in inventory. Had been thinking about getting an insurance policy and hadn't pulled the trigger yet, and lost it all in a fire. It was stored at his parents' house, and he lost all of it in that fire. Not covered by insurance. I don't think his parents' insurance will pay out that amount on stuff being stored in the house. Don't know. But it was just another reminder of the world is a crazy place, whether it's natural disasters or someone stealing stuff or whatever. You need to make sure that you are protecting yourself as best as you possibly can. Even with an insurance claim, you're probably going to have to fight your ass off to actually get paid out, and maybe you don't get the full value back. But even if you got 60 or 70% of your value back on something, that's a lot better than eating a loss. I mean, imagine you shipped a $10,000 card to a consignment company and it goes missing in the mail. And now you're potentially out that windfall, that sale that you would have had to either go buy something else or to, pay off bills, whatever the case might be. That could really hurt you. And this sucks. Like, obviously, don't steal from people. Don't do dumb stuff. But people do it all the time. You have to be aware and you have to protect yourself. Theft has been up at card shows a lot recently. That always gets a lot of chit chat. Be careful where you're setting your stuff down at. I've recommended this before, like just walking around at a show with your bag or your case. Put Apple AirTags in stuff. It might not end up getting your thing back, but if you notice quick enough before they have a chance to completely dump everything, it might point you in the right direction. So you have to take responsibility for your own stuff. And I just talked about this in the Pokemon video yesterday because there was a big scam going on with that over on the other channel. And in that case, it was, if it's too good to be true, stay away from it. But it was also just about being aware and taking ownership of stuff. And that applies here as well. In this, if someone wants to do something bad, they're going to do it. All you could do is set up as many safeguards as you possibly can to help mitigate that risk. I've shipped high value items before and I've documented it. I don't post that video online under the channel, but there's been not everything and very rarely, but I've shipped, multiple thousands of dollars of cards. And for me, that's a lot of money. Like I forget what card it was, but it was like a couple grand that sold. And I shot a video of me packing it up, sealing it, tamper tapering it, putting the shipping label on it, the whole 9 yards, and signature required, everything. And until I got confirmation that everything went through fine, I just held on to that video for a little bit. I don't know if that would have helped me or not, but it couldn't hurt. And it was zero effort. I had to pack up the package anyway. All I did was flip the camera on while I did it. I didn't even talk while I was doing it. Actually, I think, what it was for was the legendary Vladimir Guerrero Blue Refractor when I sold that, because that was like a $3,500 sale. And that was a few years ago, and I never shipped something that valuable before. And I took every precaution I possibly could. Even still today, I probably would on a card of that magnitude. I hate shipping high value stuff. I really do. The amount of times I check tracking on a high dollar shipment is about the same amount of times I check my PSA pizza order tracker when I have an order there. I am constantly refreshing that thing left, right, and center to make sure that everything's going okay with it. But yeah, document, look into insurance if you don't have it, whether it's on your collection or when you're shipping or whatever. Like I said, I don't personally like purchasing the extra shipping through the Postal Service. I would rather have a third party, because I've always heard, once again, I've never had to use it. Maybe one of you all can sound off in the comment section. I've never heard anyone having a good experience trying to get an insurance claim through on USPS or UPS or FedEx. If someone has a good story, good, bad, or indifferent, feel free to fire away. But personally, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say anything good about, trying to get money back from those insurance providers that those shippers use. So be careful out there. That's all I got. As always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. Catch you on the next one. Peace.